thought-provoking. And this is something he's very good at, all of his speeches do this. And he wanted me to evaluate the fact that whether or not it evoked thoughts with the audience, how the audience reacted to this. Anyway, he opened with a proverb in Latin, and this was interesting because I don't know Latin, and I don't know if anyone in here does too, but I don't think he really meant for us to understand the Latin part. He got into the theme of the day, which is always good when we have a theme of the day to follow this. A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. And you wanted to know if we understood what you were trying to, the point you were trying to make. And this was whether or not we chose, whenever we have a choice in life, most of the time we can instant gratification or prolong the conclusion of whatever we are intending to achieve. Well, you gave us some choices, and I kind of missed part of your speech, so forgive me. Now or later, now or never is one of the thoughts I had as I listened to your speech. You gave 3 very good examples. You gave the example of going to school or dropping out of school and buying a car. You gave an example of China and our country depending on China for financial aid, and then the kid that borrowed the car, he had to have it right away. Well, sometimes, I think your point was, most of the time you would advise us to prolong the gratification. But sometimes we don't always have a choice, and I want to play the devil's advocate here. My father's father died when he was 16 years old, and he had to drop out of school to support the family. Sometimes there's not always a choice. Instant gratification is not always a bad choice. Sometimes a person may drop out of school that's not capable of attending college. So he would drop out of school and get a job and therefore make a good life. You are one of our better speakers, and I want to say one thing. People that make these choices for instant gratification, sometimes it looks as it's a mistake. But we learn our greatest lessons in life from making mistakes. So and your question was, who is responsible? Ultimately, each and every person is responsible for their own actions and reactions, and the way other people react to them. And you can't really make generalizations. So I would like to close by saying you did provoke a lot of thought, and that was your main purpose in this speech, if I'm understanding you correctly. It was a good job. I enjoyed listening to it. It made me think about a lot of things. It made me react kind of to the opposite of you, because you and I, we don't really think alike a lot, but I respect it. But I respect his thoughts, and I learn a lot. Every speech you've ever given, I've learned something from it, even when I disagree with things you say. But most of the time I do agree, but like today, I didn't really agree with some of your ideas, but in one sentence, Jim Price, what thought did it provoke from you?
Well, I think it's totally correct.
Okay.
I know too much about the high schools and the kids and stuff.
Well, I'm I mean, just the premise, the basic premise of instant gratification or prolonging the gratification, just in every ending.
I think it's sad